Next up, we have from 1986, Crawlspace, which most distinguishing feature might be the fact that it stars Klaus Kinski, who is probably a big name. I recognize the name. I don't know where I know the name from, but he's in this movie.
He's a fucking weirdo.
Indeed. So Crawlspace is a very, very basic movie. Pretty much, this is an apartment building. The guy who runs it is a bit off. This young college student rents a room. She hears noises and things just don't feel right. There's some rats around the apartment. There's also this one girl in a cage upstairs with a tongue cut out. That's not normal. There's also the occasional Nazi thing going on. So, I don't know, just a great place to rent an apartment. It's a very cheap feeling movie. I have no idea what the budget was, but it just feels like a very cheap movie. And I guess, to its credit, I think it does as much as it can with the idea it has. I don't personally think there's much in the way of outstanding scenes, but I mean, this is maybe like the third time I've seen this movie, and I've never hated it. I've just never particularly found it all that memorable. And I think it's probably much the same with this variant. It's not bad. I just have a hard time imagining this makes anybody's like favorite 80s movies.
This is one of those movies that I always remember looking at on the video store shelf. Like it'd always be there. I'm pretty sure the cover of it, at least on the Australian VHS release, it did have I think a part of Klaus Kinski's face on it. So I was always thinking, who's this fucking weirdo? And he's a big reason why the movie is just quite creepy, because he is just quite creepy. And I don't even know if that's his acting or if that's how he normally is. I kind of get the feeling that's how he normally is. Oh my god, what a weirdo. Like you said, like there's not heaps of outstanding scenes in the movie, but I think it's just a general creepiness of him that really does most of the damage in the movie for the viewing experience. I mean, but there is that one chair kill which you don't really see much, but
It looks painful.
it just looks so painful. So, there's definitely certain moments that are creepy, and like even just something simply like towards the end where he's got this little like something on wheels as he's in the
it's like an air duct.
Yeah, the air duct. And I think once he gets on that end, he just starts rolling towards her. I mean, it's kind of amusing, but at the same time, you're like, damn, this is just one creepy ass dude. And imagine this guy just coming up on you when you're this woman stuck in the air duct. I mean, that's all I really have to say about it, to be honest. He's kind of like the greasy strangler without the grease. He is, but you know what I'm trying to say. Without actual heaps of grease poured onto him. Let's just say that. To be honest, just for him alone, I would recommend at least checking the movie out. I'm not necessarily saying it's a great movie, but in terms of just creepy actors / character, he's up there.
Yeah, and to be fair, this movie is only like an hour and 20 minutes long, so even if it's not to your liking, it's not like it lasts all that long to begin with. And it never really, it doesn't really, at least to me, it never really drags, but it does sometimes feel like there's not that much going on, but there's still enough content here, especially toward the end, that I guess makes up for it. I don't necessarily care that much about the backstory of Kinski's character, mainly his father being a Nazi and him having inclinations toward that type of thing. I guess there's some interesting ideas there. I do like the whole Russian roulette thing after each kill. So that was always, I would say, suspense was interesting. Especially that one time he like shoots a gun 3 times. Like, hey, he's really going for it then. So, I don't know, it's a movie that it doesn't feel like there's that much to it, but I think you make a pretty good point that Klaus Kinski puts a lot into the movie. If it had been him starring, I'm not sure how it would have turned out. I do, from my understanding, apparently there's a lot of issues behind the scenes, because apparently he's not an easy actor to work with,
Yeah.
which isn't. That's pretty understandable. If given, I mean, you can't really tell from the movie. I mean, the guy's creepy, but like Chucky said, you can't necessarily tell how much of that might be his own stuff. So I don't know. I find it interesting that the movie came out as functional as it did. Like I said, I just have a hard time imagining this ranking up there. I don't really hear that many people speak about this movie outside of Klaus Kinski's performance, and I think that's probably pretty telling. Like I said, I feel like this is a movie that might be worth checking out. Like I said, you're not going to lose much if you do. It's just not a movie that is probably going to stick to your mind outside of maybe some of the Kinski scenes, and I do like the idea of him having a woman caged up. I mean, that's pretty creepy. We don't really find out who that woman is. I'm assuming just some random past victim, but we don't know why she's more special than any other woman. So that might have been a nice little backstory. But as it is, the movie is competent. It does enough things right. It's just not necessarily the most enjoyable way to spend my time. So I'm thinking 6.5, and I would probably round up to a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I was weighing up between a 6 and a 7, and I just don't know how many other movies I've come across where just the actor alone is really doing the creep factor for me like this one does. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a 7. You just gotta see it. Words can't really describe how disturbingly creepy this guy is. And hey, look, you do get to see a little bit of tete action, and I think there's one blonde in the movie. She's in like a whole bunch of other 80s and 90s, those softcore porn type of erotic thriller type movies, and I appreciate that, for sure. And I know Jiggy does too.
Yes.